Today's learning target is I can solve equations with the variable on both sides, and I can identify special solutions to equations. Okay, so solving with variables on both sides. It says hint, get all the x's on one side and all the numbers on the other side. So we have an example here, x plus 3 is equal to 2x plus 7. So what I like to do is I like to move the smallest variable, and my smallest variable is the x. So if I move the x to the right hand side, I'm going to subtract x to both sides, and I end up with 3 is equal to 2 minus 1 is 1, so x plus 7. So if we moved the x's to the right hand side of the equal sign, we now need to move the constants, the numbers, to the left hand side. So I need to move this 7. I'm going to go opposite, which is negative 7, to both sides. And I end up with x is equal to negative 4. It's okay to have the x on the right hand side. You don't always have to have it on the left. Okay, so let's look at two more examples here. 5x minus 8 is equal to 6x plus 2. Again, I want to move the smallest variable, which is the 5. I'm going to subtract 5x to both sides. Okay, and I bring down that negative 8 is equal to, well, 6 minus 5 is 1, so x plus 2. And then again, we moved the x to the right, move the constants, the numbers, to the left. I'm going to subtract 2 to both sides. My answer is x is equal to negative 10. Okay, so now let's look at example number 2. And again, if we're going to move the smallest variable, the smallest variable here is the negative 7. Okay, remember, negative 7 is smaller than negative 3. So I'm going to add 7x to both sides. Okay, so the 7's go away, and I have negative 3 plus 7, which is 4x plus 4 is equal to 8. We now moved our variables to the left-hand side of the equal sign. We need to move our numbers to the right side of the equal sign. So I need to subtract 4 to both sides and bring down that 4x is equal to 8 minus 4 is 4. And I have to do one more step. I need to get rid of that 4 that's with the x. So I'm going to divide both sides by 4. X is equal to 1. Okay, so now we're going to look at special solutions. So we have two different kinds. The first kind says no solution. It's when all your variables disappear and the two numbers left are not equal to each other. So let's take a look at this. The first thing that I need to do is distribute. So if I distribute, I'm going to multiply 4 into everything that's in the parentheses. I'm going to rewrite this as 8x plus 5 is equal to, well, 4 times 2 is 8x. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. Okay, so let's look at our variables. We need to move the smallest one, and in this case, they're both the same. So let's just say I'm going to subtract 8. I want to get rid of this one. Well, I subtract 8 to both sides, and what happens is these actually go away. And I end up with, I'm going to bring down this 5 and bring down this negative 8. I end up with 5 is equal to negative 8. So this is that no solution where the variables go away and the two numbers that are left over are not equal to each other, because 5 does not equal negative 8. This statement is false. So if it's false, we're going to say then there's no solutions. Okay. The last one, infinitely many solutions. So it's when all the variables disappear and the two numbers left are equal to each other. Well, let's solve this. The first thing I need to do is combine like terms, and these are my two terms that I need to add together. So if I do that and I rewrite this, I have 6x plus 15 is equal to 6x plus 15. All right, let's get rid of our variables. Let's move one of the variables. In this case, both of them are 6x's. So if I subtract 6x to both sides, they go away. And then I'm going to bring down my numbers. And I have 15 is equal to 15. So in this case, the variables disappeared. And the two numbers that are left over are equal to each other. So this statement is true. So then we're going to write infinite many solutions. And we just like to write IMS. I'm okay with that. Okay?